And we'll make a start.
I'm Trinity Anderson, producer and narrator of Plog Vlog. My foster father and I travel to remarkable places. He picks up litter, and I tell stories. We're out near Angellala Creek today, just south of Charleville in Queensland.
Is that person rubbish?
You probably haven't heard of it, unless you remember the headlines from 2014. 2 trucks collided on this quiet stretch of highway.
Most powerful explosion in Australian transport history, apparently.
One was carrying ammonium nitrate. The explosion was immense.
Let's go check it out. The bridge is on the other side here.
Craters, flames, shockwaves felt over 30 kilometres away. The bridge was torn in half like paper, and yet, miraculously, no one was killed. These days, the road's been rebuilt, but the scars remain. Twisted concrete, a faded warning sign, a patch of dirt where even the flies seem louder. And they are loud, buzzing like something's just died, even when nothing has. We passed a convoy of grey nomads on our way in. For those who don't know, that's the name Australians give to retired travellers who roam the country in caravans. They tend to chase warmth in winter and adventure in summer. I like that. This idea that the end of one life stage could mark the beginning of another. Not everyone gets that luxury. And not all journeys are planned. Lately, I've been sorting through more of my mother's old diaries. This one's dated May 1993. She and her childhood friend David had taken a Greyhound bus from San Francisco to Los Angeles. 11 hours overnight. There's an entry in there about a pair of American twins. Blonde, about 21.
That's a rock.
The kind of twins
Volcanic rock.
movies cast when they're trying to sell you gum or denim or toothpaste. Liz wrote, I took an immediate liking to the brother. His accent curled like honey around the edges of words.
Wonder if it'd washed down in the flood. It'd wash up against this fence, I reckon.
The sister had a smile that could cause car crashes. So, I offered to swap seats, putting her next to David and me beside the brother.
You think?
I expected sparks on both sides, but David just tipped his hat, said hi, and pulled it down over his eyes like some weary cowboy. Later at the LA terminal, I asked why he hadn't even tried. He said, I'm here for adventure, not romance.
Do I fly?
Besides, she probably just thought I was some Crocodile Dundee fantasy. Mum must have watched the twins intently.
Okay, let's go up to the tunnel. To the tunnel of love.
She noticed how the sister tucked her long legs up on the seat, like she was settling for a picnic beside a stream.
There are flies everywhere.
And how the brother kept checking on her,
So many flies.
as if he'd never seen her ignored by a man before.
Get closer to the road. I reckon there's more chance of rubbish near the road.
He seemed more concerned about it than she did. Liz had a way of seeing things like that, sometimes too clearly. She'd notice everything in other people and still miss what she needed herself. David later told me the comment about Crocodile Dundee wasn't meant to be cold. He was just stating a fact, just a truth.
Wow, look at that.
Adventure always trumped romance. They rolled into LA, and Liz wrote that the city felt like a pressure cooker. The smog choked the skyline. The mountains were barely visible through the haze. The air itself felt heavy.
Let's go over near the road now.
Neither of them had experienced that before.
That's what went boom.
It wasn't just the pollution. The city was still holding its breath after the riots a year earlier. Rodney King's name hadn't faded. The streets had a pulse, like something waiting to ignite again. Liz called it a city of neon ghosts, bright, hollow, flickering. They decided to leave straight away, catch the next Greyhound towards the Grand Canyon. While they waited, Liz read from her book on the natural philosophers, getting better at translating from Norwegian to English for David. Can something come from nothing? Can water turn into wine? These tied into something my foster father said recently when we were talking about this very spot, Angellala Creek. He said that the explosion here wasn't just a tragic accident. it was also a lesson in what happens when the natural world and the man-made world collide. A kind of alchemical mixing of matter and instances. 2 trucks, one full of fuel, one full of ammonium nitrate.
I want to go back through this way.
Both entirely safe until one wrong moment. Then physics takes over. Chemistry plays its part. And boom. That's how the natural philosophers thought too, except they didn't have chemistry textbooks. Just questions. How does fire happen?
I'm really surprised you still got me, Trinity.
Why do things fall? What is the world made of? Liz explained it all to David. How early thinkers believed everything was water or air or some mysterious substance called a pyron. She found it beautiful. That people once tried to understand the world not through gods, but through nature itself.
Up plastic.
And now we understand the chemistry of explosions. We know why ammonium nitrate is stable until it isn't. We know how heat and shockwaves propagate.
Oh, look at this one.
But somehow, knowing more hasn't made us wiser. Because just like at Angellala, society feels like it's carrying its own volatile mix.
It's take up like the whole room.
Technology, disconnection,
There you go.
consumption, fear, one bump too many,
Oh, what do you?
and something gives. That's what Liz feared about cities like LA.
I'd say that's a goat's jaw, I would say.
That they were built on a kind of
Double bit.
compressed mythology.
What we got here?
The dream of fame, of reinvention, of eternal youth. But underneath, tension. She felt that tension in herself too. She wrote about it in earlier diaries, the fear of disappearing into other people's dreams, of chasing something and finding out it was just smoke. I think that's part of why she liked those natural philosophers. They weren't chasing illusions, they were looking for substance. And now, I'm doing the same, watching the world through this lens she left behind. The world is very different now. In previous episodes, I've pondered about whether we risk becoming like zoo animals, fed, entertained, and numb. But a much older David has suggested a different metaphor. He said, I don't think society's really like a zoo. I think it's more like a circus. People don't just get fed, they perform. Tricks for clicks, clever routines for dollars, but they've forgotten their habitat. Some don't even know it exists, and some are terrified to go back. He looked out at the horizon then, wide and empty and real, and said, but every now and then, one escapes into the wild. And you can almost see it, the senses waking up, the body remembering. Maybe that's what my foster father and I are doing, in our own quiet way, collecting rubbish in forgotten places, reawakening purpose through care, picking up the pieces, not just of litter, but of story, memory, land. And yes, battling flies. I don't know what it is about creek beds in Western Queensland, but the flies here don't quit. Maybe it's moisture. Maybe it's something dead upstream. Maybe they just know we're intruding. But even that, being here, feeling them, swatting them away, it reminds me I'm alive. So thank you for being here, for watching, for staying curious. If you want to hear more of Liz's story, or David's, or mine, stick around. The world might be changing, but the questions are still worth asking.